Planets are celestial bodies that orbit around a central star and have a large enough mass to have a nearly round shape. Exoplanets are planets that do not orbit our Sun, but another star. Just like the planets of the solar system, exoplanets come in a big variety of sizes and orbits. The first exoplanets were discovered in the 1980s, but it wasn't until the 1990s that people found out that these things were actually exoplanets. Nowadays, there are several different techniques that can be used to discover exoplanets. Most of the discoveries that were made so far were made by the Kepler Space Telescope. But why do we search for exoplanets? Exoplanets are very interesting for the science. We can find out more about our own planet by studying exoplanets that are similar to the Earth. Scientists are also looking for planets on which we could live if life on Earth wasn't possible anymore. Interesting to explore are exoplanets that are in the habitable zone of their star. This is the region around the star in which it is possible for a planet with sufficient atmospheric pressure to maintain liquid water on its surface. These planets might also give us information about extraterrestrial life. One space mission dedicated to searching and measuring the size of known exoplanets has its origin in Switzerland, more precisely in Bern. It is called CHEOPS. CHEOPS stands for Characterizing Exoplanet Satellite. It is the first small-class mission from the ESA and the first ever space mission from the ESA conducted by Switzerland. The project was carried out at the University of Bern with the support of other Swiss and European universities. Willy Benz, head of the mission at the University of Bern, says, "The main goal is no longer to discover planets, but to find out what they consist of, how big they are, how warm they are, what chemical elements they are made of, if they have an atmosphere, and if so, what its structure is like, how warm the surface is, if there's water, and so on." CHEOPS will be able to measure the radius and thus find out the sizes of planets for which the mass has already been estimated. It will observe stars that are known to host planets. Whenever one of these planets passes the star, the luminosity of the star will decrease a little bit. From that, it is possible to find out the size of the planet. As soon as the mass and the size of the planet are known, the mean density can be calculated, and with that, the inner structures of the planet can be calculated as well. Ground-based surveys have identified hundreds of stars hosting planets, so CHEOPS will know where to look and at what time to observe. Thus, it will be the most efficient instrument to determine the sizes of planets in this mass range. Swiss astronomers had the idea for CHEOPS back in 2008. In 2012, ESA agreed on the project. The University of Bern was responsible for the construction of the space telescope. In spring 2018, the construction was finished after 5 years, and the telescope was sent to Madrid, where it will be integrated on the satellite platform. But Benz says, "We can't be relieved or content before we have any scientific data, because without scientific data, everything is useless." The telescope will be ready to launch in early 2019, and the mission is planned to last 3.5 years. But the CHEOPS mission is not the only mission concerning exoplanets. NASA has a current mission called TESS, which means Transiting Exoplanet Survey Satellite. Other than the CHEOPS telescope, it will focus on the discovery of exoplanets and not the characterization of them. The telescope started its journey to space on April 18, 2018, and will reach its planned orbit after 2 months of traveling. Other telescopes, like for example the James Webb Telescope, which will be the successor of the Hubble Space Telescope and will be in space in 2020, will then explore the atmospheres of these discovered exoplanets. With all these missions about exoplanets, we might not only get the expected information about them, but maybe also make discoveries that are completely unexpected. Maybe there are planets in other solar systems that are not at all similar to the planets we already know. And maybe we can also make a big step forward concerning the search for extraterrestrial life.